Welcome to BS Draftcast, where we are Brandon and Steven, and we are back at you with another one. Championship Sunday is upon us. Means the season's coming to a closing, unfortunately. But as always, I got my man Steven on the other line. Steven, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Not bad, man. Just got back from Columbus. Daughter had a cheer competition where they completely swept the board and won everything possible. So, pretty dope. All right. Um, Championships weekend's here, man. we have one more. We have two important games this weekend, and then one more important game after that, and it's the off season. Unfortunately, um, we'll dive right into this weekend, man. We got the Commanders and the Eagles, the Bills and the Chiefs. Let's talk about the divisional round real quick. Um, Chiefs Texans. There's not much to be had with that. I mean, we knew it was going to happen. The Texans just haven't looked great, and damn sure didn't look great at all. But let's talk about two big ones: the Commanders and the Lions. I mean, we took the Commanders to cover the spread, but I didn't think they were gonna win, bro. What a performance the Commanders put on the Lions. Do you think that the Lions, like the injuries on defense, finally caught up to them? Um, like you look at the Commanders' offense, and you're not like, oh, this thing's star studded, but they get it done on offense. What's your thoughts with that game?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened, man. I think the injuries caught up, and we were texting during the game and stuff, and Goff threw that pick, and like I made the joke, like anytime Goff throws a pick, it seems like he throws another one, and then he threw another one,
Right.
and then another one. So it's just, I mean, it's just the weight of the game was kind of placed on the offense just because the defense was just and like injuries have just caught up to him, man. I mean, it's unfortunate. It sucks for the Lions. It sucks for Dan Campbell, and it was kind of a battle of the bigger dicks. You know what I mean, between
Yep.
Dan Quinn and Dan Campbell. Just ballsy calls, and some pay off, some don't. But yeah, Commanders. I mean, they won this one straight up, fair and square.
Yeah, I mean, and I honestly, I didn't see any ticky tack bullshit. I didn't see anything like any calls that like hindered the game. Um, there was that blown face mask call, and then I think there's another call that we were like, "Damn, what the hell?" So they kind of both paid out together. I mean, I didn't see anything that I'm like, "Dude, this team's getting carried by penalties." So it was an awesome game to watch. Jaden Daniels stood in there and looked like a veteran. I mean, bro, this kid, he's so calm, cool, and collected. And the one cool thing, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but Jane Daniels, when he first went to college, he uh he had like a horrible, horrible start to his college.
Hmm.
Um, hang on one second. L Train, appreciate the follow, and Justin. Will James Cook score on the Chiefs tomorrow? Yeah, James Cook is getting in the end zone, bro. 100%, I think. James Cook's a lot of that offense, and I think that the for the Bills to win, which we're going to cover, obviously, I think the Bills' recipe to win is that game and how dominant it's been. But um, Jaden, bro, he went to college and he had like some real shitty games, and this man, they have at his college they have this VR headset that like he can like go through plays and progressions and shit, and it helps him. And
Hmm.
he got so good at it that he plays it on times two speed. That's why they're saying, and he still uses it today in the NFL. So they're saying that like the reason why he's so calm and poised is because he plays it at a faster pace than the actual real life is. Which I don't know how you simulate real life, but I mean it seems to be working, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, processing speed and everything. I mean, you can see it just how poised he is in the pocket, the way he controls the offense. Even whenever it's getting to like the Bears game, like it's getting to the point of being a nail biter, and like he didn't even flinch.
No.
He's just that guy, man. I mean, he's just that. That's just his makeup. And when we talked about him in the pre-draft process, we talked about how he had gotten, better every year. I mean,
Yep.
that's one thing you want to see, obviously. I mean, some guys they come in and they light it up freshman year or whatever, but he
Absolutely.
steadily improved, every season. So, I mean, even the whole thing with his teammates at Arizona State whenever he transferred, and they were like, glad he's leaving, whatever, all that shit they were saying. I'm sure that probably like kind of hurt his feelings, but I think it also gave him like a little extra motivation. Like, all right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go to LSU and I'm gonna light it up.
Yep.
So
Exactly. And then he came in the NFL, and hey, hats off to what he's doing. I think he's the clear cut rookie of the year. I think he should be. No disrespect to Bo Nix. He had a great year, phenomenal year. He progressed throughout the season as it went on. But I think Jaden has showed a lot, and I think numbers wise, he looks better on paper than Bo Nix has. Hey, hats off to him. I wouldn't be mad if the Commanders upset the Eagles tomorrow. Um, I really wouldn't. That'd be awesome to see. um, Philly and the Rams. Game was a lot closer than I anticipated. We did take the Rams +6, or I'm sorry, we took them +5. No, what was it? Hang on, let me look. We won this bet. 1 second. It was. The hell was it? Mm, Rams +6.5. There it is. They ended up covering. They they scored a late. They covered the point spread. Thankfully, the half point was in our favor. We did miss on the Texans Chiefs over 41.5. The Texans would have kicked field goals instead of trying to get in the end zone. We've been talking about a clean sweep other than the Baltimore Ravens -1. The easiest bet of the night was obviously the Commanders. We took them +9.5, which is a huge underdog. I just thought that the Commanders, in the hurt Detroit Lions defense, the Commanders were going to be able to hang in there, and they ended up winning outright. But the Bills and the Ravens, man, I know this one still stings for you a little bit. Um, Costly turnovers by the Ravens, interception by Lamar, a fumble by Lamar, and a big fumble by Mark Andrews. I know we were talking during the game, and I was like, Mark Andrews single handedly lost them the game on a fumble when he tried to cut across the field for some unknown reason. I don't know why. Um, I know he's trying to make a play. He's a professional athlete, but he's a 6'5", 250-pound tight end that should just be running forward, not trying to cut across the field like he's Zay Flowers. But that's neither here or there. And then the drop, obviously, in the 2-point conversion. Perfect play call to tie the game. Unfortunately, he dropped it. I honestly thought that this was the Ravens' year. I thought that they would be in the Super Bowl. They fell short again, man. What what do you think? And I think from the beginning of the year till now, I think the Baltimore Ravens team as a whole is light years better than they were at the beginning of the season. So I'm not discrediting, I'm not taking anything away from their season. But what do you think needs to happen with the Ravens to just get over that edge, man? Like they just seem to fall short by 2 points or by a field goal or by they just fall short to that next level, to that next step, to the next round. What do you think needs to happen?
well, I'm going to preface this by saying that I'm really glad that we had the podcast this weekend and not earlier this week
Give
because
you a
I've
week to
definitely
chill
cooled
out.
off. Yeah, I've definitely cooled off. So looking at the game as a whole, a lot of errors. Obviously, which you mentioned them. The interception by Lamar. Hearing him explain it at his press conference, and then hearing him explain the fumble, it makes more sense. The interception, but the fumble I get,
He was just
because
trying to make a play.
the linemen were already down the field. So if he would have threw the ball, it would have been a penalty. He was trying to make a play, which I'll be honest. I was obviously livid when we lost this game. But to have that many mistakes and to have that many issues and to lose by 2 points when we could have tied the game on a drop pass by Mark. I mean, I was hot about Mark Andrews because he dropped one pass earlier in the game that would have got us a first down. He fumbled the ball, and then he dropped the one that would have tied the game. So I was pretty frustrated with Mark. But like I said, now I have a little bit of time to cool down. I mean, there's no excuse for it. Mark knows what he did, but this team's it's talented. But like I talked to you about it a few weeks ago, like we gotta do something because the window's closing. I mean, it is. Derrick Henry's not getting any younger. Ronnie Stanley, he's a free agent this year. He's not getting any younger. Kyle
Hey,
Van Noy's not getting any younger.
Derrick Henry may not be getting any younger, but that man is still running like he's 25.
He is. But I feel like Derrick's like one of them guys where he's like, if he's not playing up to like the expectation that he has for himself, that
He's
he'll
gonna
just be like,
walk.
I'm gonna hang him
Yep.
up.
Yep.
And I
Like
don't
a
want that
Steven
for him. I would
like a
love to.
Steven Jackson type player.
Yeah, like I would love to get him a ring and let him go out on top or however he decides to go about it. But as far as this team goes, man, I mean, they
A lot of good things, I think.
a
A
lot of
lot of
good
good
things.
things to look forward to.
I was more confident last year. I thought last year was our year. This year I was on the fence pretty much all year. But last year, like I was like, this is our year. And we went and got Derrick Henry and stuff, and it turned the offense on beast mode. But something just felt off all year, and I can't explain it. Like the defense came together at the end of the season, but something just didn't feel right. Like I didn't have the same feeling I did last year. Last year I was like, dude, we beat the Chiefs. Like we're going to the Super Bowl and we're going to win this freaking thing. But this year I didn't get that same feeling. Like when we played the Bills, I was like, I'm just going to go with I want the Ravens to win. But I didn't feel confident in it because we already beat them once. And then I also want to bring up the push off by the Bills receiver right before halftime that ended up being called defensive pass interference.
Yes.
I mean it's textbook push off if you want to call it, you can call it both ways and offset the penalties, but the receiver, I think it was Keon Coleman, extended his arms. That is a big like that is as blatant of a push as you're going to get. And I get that Tre'Davious White was on him, but he pushed him off. So, I mean, it gifted the Bills, but people want to say what they want about the Bills, and they want to say what they want about the Chiefs. I hate to break it to anybody's hearts here, but like the Bills get a lot of calls too, and people don't talk about it. The Bills get a lot of calls. Josh Allen leads the league in roughing the passer. Like the Bills get a lot of calls. So this narrative that the Bills are playing the Chiefs, I don't want to hear it. I just don't. So that's where I'm at with it. It was just another tough year, tough loss, but I don't know. With Mark, I think, Pro Bowler, all pro. He's a great tight end. He's always had drop issues. This is nothing new with Mark. He's always had hands of stone, you know. So I think he'll bounce back. But yeah, the window's closing with this team. I mean, it is. Like they gotta draft good and get some edge rushers, get some help in the defensive backfield, and fix that offensive line. I mean, that's where it needs to start. But
I agree.
yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
So, Wise Guy said NFL script has been leaked. Mahomes dedicates a three-peat for his third child, a great NFL story, and boosts the ratings. I mean, the ratings are already boosted because if it's not with people wanting Mahomes to win three, it's people wanting Mahomes to lose finally. So, I mean, it's already boosted. I don't know about the whole three-peat for this third kid. I mean, it's a good feel-good story. I mean, you never know, man. You really don't. But let's dive right into these games, man. Commanders and Eagles. Uh, they're split right now, 1-1. They're completely split on the series for the year. You have a red hot Commanders team coming into Philly with a Jalen Hurts who has a bum knee from that last game. He took a awkward twist on a tackle and his knee, and they showed videos of him at practice, and he isn't 100%. So we all know it's going to be a Saquon Barkley show, 100%. We know that, And Saquon has been on an absolute tear. No one has been able to slow him down in the last like 8 weeks. For the Commanders to win, they're going to you're not going to stop Saquon, so you're going to have to slow him down. And B, you're going to have to match point for point if Saquon's running for 202 tuds. I mean, that's just what it's going to be. I mean, everything in me wants the Commanders to win. I think that'd be awesome. Someone completely new into that Super Bowl. Any thoughts coming into this game?
Yeah, number one, man, is Saquon. I mean, that's number one if you're the Commanders. One thing it's not going to help is Deron Payne is out for that game, so they're arguably
Yeah,
their
that's
best
right.
run defender. Yeah, I mean, and Saquon he's already ran all over the Commanders like twice this year.
Right,
So
right.
I mean, you got to stop Saquon Barkley. You got to make Jalen Hurts beat you with his arm because last week Jalen Hurts wasn't doing shit through the air. He got some yards, a touchdown with his legs, whatever. But he wasn't he's not doing shit with his arm. If you make this Eagles team, if you make Jalen Hurts have to play to where he's beating you with his arm, you have a
You have a
shot
good
against
shot.
the Eagles.
You have a really
And I
good
love
shot.
Jalen Hurts. This isn't a knock. This isn't a shit on Jalen, fest. But I mean, him and AJ Brown, they have a weird relationship that just kind of goes up and down, and Jalen just misses these throws that he has no business missing. I mean, just errant passes. I don't get it. But for the Commanders, man, the offense is going to have to match the Eagles for points. Like the offense needs to be on their game, and not having Sam Cosmi, their guard, is a big blow just because of guys like Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis up front. And Milton Williams, who's really turned it on and played well. Nolan Smith coming off the edge, Josh Sweat. Like, that offensive line's got his work cut out for him. I know Jalen can move around and stuff, but Jaden. I know Jaden can move around and stuff, but Jalen Carter, that dude's an animal, man. And not having Cosme and already having a suspect line as it is, it's gonna be rough sledding for the Commanders, but the offense has to match the Eagles for points. Otherwise, this game's gonna get out of hand, and they're not gonna be able to do it. But I think they can. I
Yeah.
do. I think that Jaden Daniels can absolutely do it. But
I mean, hell, they just overcame 5 turnovers just a couple weeks ago against the Eagles and came back and won. So they
yeah,
definitely can do
and
it.
Jalen wasn't playing, but like I said, Jalen hasn't really been, you know, through the air. He hasn't been as impressive.
And I mean, unfortunately, that game was 21-0 when Jalen went down. And then after Jalen went down, obviously they came back, started rolling. But once again, Saquon had 150 and 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
Like if you can keep Saquon under 100 yards, then like you said, force Jalen to beat you with his arm, and his escapability is down because of that knee, then
Yep.
you have a real shot at this.
I'm looking forward to this game. I would like to see an NFC uh, Super Bowl win personally. I mean, I like both these teams. I like what both of them are doing, and then just to be a rookie quarterback, taking this team from the pits of hell. Honestly, I mean, Washington's been a joke for how long, dude? You know what I mean? And
Decades.
and to get this dude that just comes in and like you got Brian Robinson, you're gonna get Eckler, but like realistically, you got a older Zach Ertz who's played really well. Like I said, B-Rob's been solid. Eckler's been solid for him, but like outside of Scary Terry, he didn't really have anything coming into the season. And then Dynamic Brown's been playing well, and some of these other guys have really stepped up. So it's been really fun to see, and I think that all just is because of Jaden Daniels.
Like, yeah, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. Um, I'm taking the Commanders. I know the screen on the screen has them at 6. I've seen it as high as 7. I've seen it mainly at 6.5. So I'm taking the Commanders plus 6.5. I think they cover the spread, and I think they have a real shot at winning outright. Honestly, what are you taking in this game? Eagles, Commanders.
I'll be honest with you. Both of these games tomorrow, I feel like both teams have a really good shot at winning. It's
Yeah.
kind of hard to it's hard to pick like which one you think would win. Like to me, like everybody looks at it and they're like, "Oh, the Commanders are getting beat," but you can't count Jaden Daniels out, man. Just the things that he's been able to do, the plays that he's made late in games. I mean, it just can't be understated. I don't feel like he really gets the recognition, but yeah, with this game, man, I feel like it could honestly go either way. I think the Eagles have more firepower, but like we said, man, you slow Saquon down and make Jalen have to throw the ball, dude. Could be a rough day for the Eagles.
Yep. I agree. All right, moving on to the game that honestly I probably won't watch. I just I probably won't watch this game. I mean, more times than not, I'll probably just turn the TV on and see who's playing in the Super Bowl. That's about it. I'll watch the Commanders Eagles game, but Bills Chiefs. I have no enjoyment to watch this game. I mean, it's uncanting of me to come and not watch a football game, but it is what it is. Um, I think the Bills have a real shot this year, though. The way Josh Allen's been playing, not turning the ball over, the way that James Cook's been running the ball, but I I just have this weird feeling that this is the game that we see a vintage DeAndre Hopkins, and DeAndre Hopkins gets in the end zone in this game. I don't know why it seems like he hasn't existed um since they traded for him. Like I mean, he hasn't. He had that one big game, but like other than that, it's like he hasn't been that DeAndre Hopkins that we anticipated him being, considering the fact that he's going to the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if it's game plan. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I obviously Bills won the first matchup earlier this year. Um, they ended up winning. What was it? 30-21. Yeah, they won 30-21. Um, they forced Patrick Mahomes to turn the ball over, and that was the key factor. Two interceptions. I want to say they had a fumble in that as well. I could be wrong, but I think Josh Allen and the Bills are gonna win this game. I really do. Um, McDermott has that team playing well, and the Bills got healthy at the right time. Everyone seems like they're back. Obviously, didn't they lose their safety? Didn't they lose Rap last week?
Yeah, he's hurt. I got the
He
it
got
says that he is
carted
out.
off. Yeah, I was gonna say he got
Yeah, he's
carted
out.
off. So that's a huge blow, obviously, to that secondary. Um, it just seems like the Bills have been giving up a lot of big plays through the air, and that's not the Bills' mo either. They usually play them too high safeties, don't give up them big plays, but it seems like they've given up a lot. But I think the Bills spoiled the three-peat. What's your thoughts on the Bills Chiefs game?
I agree with you. We said it plenty of times this year. Like the Chiefs don't scare me. I mean, if you look at their stats, their box scores, through all these games and stuff, and all the ticky tacky bullshit, and you just take all that and just set all that to the side. But if you go and you look at like the stats and like watch the game, they don't they're not as explosive, which is surprising because I figured with Xavier Worthy, and I know they're just getting Marquise Brown, he's getting back and healthy and shit,
He's
but
out actually.
is he
No,
out?
Mecole's out. Sorry,
Oh well,
my
he's
bad.
a bum.
Yeah, he was
Um,
ass.
but yeah, with them in that offense and Patrick Mahomes, like they just don't look, they don't scare me. But the Bills right now, they're rolling. I mean, last week like I said, we had a chance to beat them, but They've been playing mistake-free football. Josh Allen's been tremendous this year with protecting the ball, which has always been his biggest flaw up until this year. And he has just played extremely well and taken care of the ball. And they got a more balanced offense. They're using they're using Cook. These young receivers, they've really stepped up. Shakir's stepped up.
Yep.
Keon Coleman's played really well. Like this team has really stepped up, especially on the offensive side of the ball because of the deficiencies they have on defense in the back end. And another thing too, getting Matt Milano back, man, he was terrorizing us last week. Matt Milano played really
Yeah, he
well. He
was.
was all over the
Yeah.
damn field. So I want to go with the Bills in this one. Like I said, this game could go either way just because, you know. But I want to go with the Bills. I think this is their year. I think they win the bandwagon bowl, and I think that they end up going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, like we both said, all four of these teams, I wouldn't be surprised of any matchup. Chiefs Commanders, Chiefs Eagles, or Bills Commanders, Bills Eagles. I wouldn't be surprised in any of them, any way, shape, or form. But I just want the Commanders in there. That's all I want. That's all I want. Anything I want this weekend. But I won't be mad if the Eagles make it. Honestly, I'm a Jalen Hurts fan. I like AJ Brown, Saquon, Jordan Davis. The list goes on. I mean, um, yeah. I just want a clean, good game, and I don't know how the refs are going to be able to handle the Bills in the Chiefs game. I don't know what they're going to do.
I
They're
hope
not going to be able to throw their if they don't throw their flags at least like 5 times, someone glued them to their inside of their pants because they're going to lose their mind.
I hope that it's like the the shootout that they had a couple years ago whenever they ended up changing the
Yeah,
overtime
yeah,
rules.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's what they need to do. Let these guys play. Take the freaking gloves off and let them play. And stop calling these bullshit penalties that completely change the course of the game. Like that shit needs to stop, dude. These are two of the biggest teams right now, the hottest teams in the NFL right now. You know, like it makes the most sense for me for them to just let them duke it out because
Yep,
that's what people want to see,
absolutely.
right? That's what people want to see. They want to see Josh Allen go out there and make these crazy ass throws and make these big runs. And Patrick Mahomes with his fucking frickin' like 4.9 speed, just running around everybody and going. Like people want to see that. They want to see these games where it's like there's no penalties. There's not a bunch of bullshit where you're like, oh, you know, Keon Coleman with like a nice jump ball or some shit. They're like, oh, pass interference offense or whatever, push off, whatever. It's like, no, dude, it's ticky tacky bullshit. Let these dudes play.
Yeah,
I don't
they
really
want to
give a
see
shit
Patrick
about this
Mahomes.
game, but
They want to see Patrick Mahomes go to the sideline, not get touched, and run for an extra 30.
yeah, like it's just like shit like that, man. And we talked about it. We've talked about it every week this year. Every week, like people that tune
Every
in every week
single
probably
one.
get sick of it. You know, it's like hit him.
Dude, if someone smokes him and just eats the 15 because you know you're getting called, bro, it's he doesn't do it no more. I'm sorry, he ain't doing it no more.
Even in the pocket, like even in the pocket with these guys,
Smoke him.
it's like yeah, like whenever these guys they drive their weight into him, I'm like good, good. You know, if you're gonna take the penalty anyway, dude, smoke him, hurt him.
Yep.
Not hurt him. You know,
Not
like
hurt
don't
him. Yeah.
maim him. But
Right.
you know, let him know, like, dude, that shit ain't gonna fly. Like we're here. You know, so I think it's
We're
what the
not.
fans want. I that's what everybody would like to see. Like you said, I'm probably not going to watch this game. I mean, I might. I don't know, but yeah, I don't really have any interest in this game. I just don't.
No, I agree. I agree with you 100%. Um, yeah. I mean, unfortunately, only 2 games this week, man. Coming to a close, bro. But we got some pre-draft stuff coming, and we got some breakdowns and so on and so forth. So fingers crossed. We have good football this weekend. The Pro Bowl is dog shit. But Super
Yep.
Bowl. Hopefully, it's a good Super Bowl. So fingers crossed. Good football this weekend. You have anything to say to close out?
Um. Hmm. So shout out to Ben Johnson. He got the Bears job. Um,
Dude, I was just about to actually bring it.
yeah, I was gonna bring a couple of these coaches up, man.
I was
You
just
know,
about to. I was like, wait a minute, hang on. There's some big news. Obviously, people I'm sure have already seen it, but there was some big. I was like, there's some stuff that I was actually thinking about. Like, I wanted to ask you, and you mentioning Ben Johnson.
yeah, man.
Is
I
the
think it's a good
Lions'
place
window
for him.
closing?
What's that?
Is the Lions' window closing, losing both of their offensive and defensive coordinators?
Dude, and they're losing position coaches too. I mean, like they're um like Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson are both like plucking different guys from these teams, from the Lions, you know what I mean? And it's it's worrisome, I mean, people don't think about position coaches and stuff, but it happened to us last year with the Ravens. Like,
Yeah.
on and left, he took some of our position guys with him, and you've seen how it really affected different um, different aspects of the team on especially on the defensive side. So you lose those position coaches and you lose that continuity, man. It can really screw your team up. And these guys, they're hiring these young coaches, which is cool. Like they're hiring these young coaches like the Lions. They just promoted Kelvin Shepard, who shit, I feel like he just played like 3 years ago. You know what I mean? And they just promoted him.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
does seem like Shep just literally finished up in the league.
Yeah, yeah. So like just seeing these young dudes come up and Brian Schottenheimer, he's the new head coach for the Cowboys, which kind of shocked the shit out of me. I like Schottenheimer though, but he's had some up and down stops as an offensive coordinator and whatnot. But I don't know, maybe he can get. I don't know if I'd want that job, bro.
Yeah,
You know,
I agree.
yeah, I don't know if I like. I feel like the Cowboys head coaching job, well, the Ravens too, but I feel like it's just a thankless job. Like it's a thankless job, like especially with the Cowboys, because you're at the mercy of Jerry. Like you just have to kind of just abide by whatever he wants you to do. He's basically the coach. He's the coach, the
Yep.
GM, the owner. He's everything. So, but good for him. Um, and Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn went to the Jets. He's got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do.
Yeah,
Freaking Pete Carroll went to the Raiders. Like
I did. I was just about to say, what about old Pete, dude? What about old Pete?
this is going to be the toughest task that he's ever had, and this man's 73 years old. Like,
If Pete Carroll turns this Raiders team around in 2 years, bro, hats off. I'm not gonna
oh,
say a
dude,
year because you there unless you trade and sign and draft like A+ across the board, you ain't turning that team around.
no,
I mean, they
no,
need help across the
he's
board.
he went to a terrible, terrible, terrible situation. I mean, you got no quarterback, you got no running back, you have no receivers. Your offensive line is okay. Like you have Brock Bowers, dude, and your defense is just you got Max Crosby and a couple other guys, but I mean
It's
that
shaky
team
across the board.
that team's just not in a good place right now. So I mean, good on him for actually accepting the challenge. I mean, that takes balls,
Yeah,
but
I
and
can
and
understand. Like I can understand Pete going there if they had like a quarterback or just had something.
yeah, yeah, they don't have anything, man. And for him to go there, and I think having Tom Brady as um one of the partial owners or how the hell that works, having him as a guy that kind of like I think he understands. Like we're not going to be able to build
Yes.
this team overnight, so I think he'll be able to keep everybody in check because Tom's not an idiot. Um, like some of these GMs, like Jerry Jones,
Yep.
like Jerry Jones. You know what I mean? It's like, dude,
Robert Kraft
firing
firing
Gerard Mayo.
Draw Mayo. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean you can go the Browns. Every bi-yearly freaking coach
Yeah.
firing. So
Yeah.
and Liam Cohen going to the Jaguars, man, I think that could really help T-Law. I mean, we've been saying that for years though with Trevor Lawrence. It's like, man, this could be the
It's
year
just
Trevor
up,
Lawrence
down,
break
up, down, up, down, up,
up and
down.
down, dude. But I mean, he has no excuse now. Like, you have the weapons. You know, like ETN needs to get his head out of his ass, and Bigsby needs
Yeah.
to stay healthy. But I mean, dude, Brian Thomas, like Evan Ingram, like yeah, they're special, man. They got some talent. Offensive
It,
line needs some work, but
defense obviously needs some work.
yeah, especially in the secondary, their secondary sucks.
I
But yeah, a
mean,
lot of coaching changes.
yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Honestly, I am. Any other closing thoughts?
Man, no, uh, it sucks seeing the season come to an end, man.
It really.
I do look forward to the pre-draft process and seeing where people land and stuff like that, and then we can start looking at like different guys that are coming out and like some of the smaller school guys and stuff. That's exciting. So
Yeah,
that'll give us
absolutely.
plenty of stuff to talk about and whatnot. So that's something I look forward to.
I couldn't agree more, man. Well, if you don't have anything, I don't have anything. Um, Other than we appreciate the people that did tune in, the people that shot some messages in there, and love to see the support still to this day of I mean, even with 2 games and not all the coverage in the world, love to see everyone still supporting us. And as always, we are Brandon Steven with BS Draftcast because all we do is BS about football, and we will see you back